So you see, you have several checklists of people. When you start enumerating them, you start having problems. You see the elder statesman, they are all there. You know, so from every department you move to another department, you now discover that you are just meeting Colossus. The only female professor and the only professor in social work, Professor Okolie, is still there standing. So as you move from one department to another department, you see avalanche of professors. Not only, they are not mainly salary earning professors. You have professors that are professing, professors that are bringing quality on the table, and professors that are creating other professors. They are all coming from this our great faculty. When the dream and aspiration came to aspire to be dean, it was not like any other aspiration which you normally see generally. It was an aspiration to try to recreate the faculty so that we go back again to reinvent the basic principles of the founding fathers. And my preoccupation was, first of all, to look at the faculty the way it is and see the values we're going to add. But I know that it is not physical facilities that will make up an institution of faculty, but the quality of the manpower. So the first task was to build collegiality. And building that collegiality started even before I dreamt of becoming dean. That was why I was lucky that all the contestants graciously decided to step down to give me a chance. That was why it was unopposed. It wasn't that probably they wouldn't have defeated me, but somehow they felt, let's give him a chance and see all this zeal and dream, what it will translate into. So, and I remain eternally grateful to former deans and to all the aspirants that made it possible for me to go as a dean unopposed. But what we did was to begin to bring people together, both the elderly, the younger generation, to come back and first of all understand where they are going, why they must toe that line, and the areas who can converge and begin to think as a people, a special breed, a special faculty members that will share our collective interests and begin to harvest our aspirations in such a manner that we all see ourselves attaining our respective goals without having clash of goals. So we now built tremendous trust, and this trust is now what we implanted in every heart.
Professor Okolie has been committed to efforts directed towards making life worth living for all staff. On assumption of office, one of the first actions was appraisals and assessments of both teaching and non-teaching staff. This exercise was completed in record time, and the resultant effect, tremendous harvest of promotions to the professorial cadre, among others.
The last thing that will be happening in this faculty is for anybody to be thinking about the issue of promotion. It is your right. You don't ask for it. Once you apply and you are qualified, you shall get your promotion. So that era of, am I qualified? If you are qualified, please promote me, had gone. It is your right. So anything that we felt should be your basic right, we had made sure that we defend it to any level to ensure that you get that right. Having built that trust and confidence, people now opened up and they were now more attuned towards working towards building a new branded faculty. And what we now did as a step further, having demonstrated to them that you don't need to beg for your right, you need to ask, simply apply. If you get, whether it is promotion, whether you want to go for leave of absence, whether you want to go for collaboration, we are in here to give you relevant instrument and support to enable you to attain your goal.
The administration of the dean has addressed the challenge of infrastructure in the faculty to a great extent. The Isaba of Owashuku, Ulinzele Dr. Jude Oza, has committed to erect a 50-room professorial office building for the faculty. Design and logistics are already in place. Also in place are plans to erect a giant auditorium housing 2 lecture halls and a faculty library. Staff support infrastructural needs. In response to full needs of staff in the Department of Social Work, the Dean has made effort to put in place additional office area to address their needs. The Fiscal Planning Unit of the University has approved the setup. Students' Welfare Scholarships. During the lecture series organized by the faculty in April 2021, former Senate President, His Excellency Senator Dr. Anyim Pius Anyim GCON, committed to sponsor 4 students from the faculty through undergraduate level studies to master's degree level. The scholarship takes effect from 2020-2021 academic session. All paperwork is in place for kickoff.
Now that people now know that this is a free faculty for all, and faculty, they now have ownership, we now moved a step further. We now started saying, how can you perform better than you are doing these days? We discovered that you need to have an office. And I have to inform us that so many lecturers don't have offices. I know that up to 100 or more are looking for offices. We are aware of it. We are aware that the administration, the university, may not have the capacity to start providing those offices. And for us to sustain a particular tempo and survive, we need to try to bring in the town and marry the town with the gown. So we started that project. And when we started the project, initially you are going to see some challenges, but we were able to overcome the challenges. But it is important to handmark that we received tremendous support from the administration of the university. We paid courtesy visit to them, unveiled our programs, sought their support, and the Vice Chancellor willingly expressed his desire to work with us to achieve our goal. So that was why we now started aligning ourselves with looking beyond OP syndrome. And I think we are succeeding in it. We have attracted some scholarships to our students. And we've brought somebody like former Senate President and former Secretary to the government of the Federation, His Excellency Chief Pius Anyim, who came for a public lecture. And within the public lecture, he was able to grant scholarship to 4 students. One even benefited from Faculty of Arts, from their present level to master's degree level. So we equally attracted 10 million naira for Delta students, for scholarship for indigent students. And the money is in a dedicated account now. We are waiting for them to finish with paperwork, and those people will benefit and start drawing from that fund. And we have to assure them equally that that 10 million will not be the end. We want to make it a revolving. So the donor, Chief Jude Nza from Ogbashuku, who came here and presented that to Delta people, equally enabled us to tackle the immediate needs of the faculty. And he equally presented 10 million naira to our faculty for takeoff. And we are very, very pleased with those donations, and equally admitted to deal with one of our challenges, accommodation. We had already produced a prototype, now it is 51 prototype professorial offices. The architectural design has been submitted for approval to the Vice Chancellor. Once he approves, we are going to link up with the philanthropic gentleman who will now initiate the project. And we are looking forward to more things we are going to do. If you enter the faculty lecture hall, you see that it will be, you discover that it is in a sorry state. The seats broken. A hall that ought to be accommodating between 300 and 500 people seated can no longer accommodate up to 50. So we've just commissioned new sets of seats, 60 pieces for now, which will be delivered within the next 1 week for a start. And because of the high cost of those seats, it's more durable, is elegant, and that is the kind of thing we require in all the faculty halls. So we're going to start with that prototype and look for external people to proceed to make more donations, because eventually we're aspiring to have more than 250 of such seats before we vacate. We'll leave office next year. And again, we've already redrawn the aesthetic condition of the faculty at the quadrangle. We've commissioned and gotten an architectural redesign that will make that place more habitable. We submitted that draft again to the Vice Chancellor. I think it's over 2 months now for approval. Once the approval is granted, we are going to get somebody that can invest as much as 9 to 10 million to execute that project. We had equally gone ahead to finish with architectural design for a story building that will contain 2 lecture halls that of 250 seating capacity each, combined 500, then visual and physical library. We've already finished with the architectural design. We had already sent it to the administration again. We are expecting approvals from these 3 projects from the Vice Chancellor. Once we get the approval, the next stage will be to harvest the donors so that they will start the project and do the land breaking. So most of these things we are doing, we have not stopped. We have intention of we've already improved the lighting system in the faculty.